Hi, I'm Case Lowe, co-host of the Open the Voice Gate podcast. The one question I'm constantly asked when it comes to Dragon Gate is, how do I get into the promotion? Well, stop asking and start listening to the Open the Voice Gate podcast, released every Wednesday on the Voices of Wrestling podcasting network. For exclusive news and show reviews, look no further than the leader in Dragon Gate coverage, Open the Voice Gate.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling podcasting network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Here we go! Baby, kiss me like a love song. So I'm a calling. Whoa, 君へ片思い涙の失恋も Give me fire, give me that what I desire.
You're listening to the Emerald Flow Show on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network.
Welcome to Emerald Flow Show, episode 73. We're a podcast on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network. You can follow us on X at Emerald Flow Show. You can listen to us on all of your favorite podcast apps and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. And you could donate to the show at voicesofwrestling.com/donate if you're feeling generous. I'm Gerard here with Paul again. And Paul, we have a super big show because wow.
It blew up even more so because timelines just didn't align last week because we originally wanted to record then. And yeah, a lot has happened. in just 1 week at the 10th.
We're gonna record, but I had to go out of town to see my parents because it's Thanksgiving in Canada. We have it.
Happy Canadian Thanksgiving.
Thank you. So that's over with, so we can get back to recording and everything like that. Well, Paul, we'll start with you because there was some events going on in Germany. The show.
Yes. So I went to WXW's World Tag Team Festival in well, I'm not gonna say beautiful Oberhausen because I don't like the town. I don't like the town so much, so I stayed in a town that's like 30 kilometers away.
Oh wow!
I had to
Is Oberhausen like a post-industrial sort of wasteland?
Yeah, the whole area kind of is, but Oberhausen's probably the worst of it. I mean, the Turbinenhalle. I mean, it's literally the name. It's literally a turbine hall. But yeah, literally it took like a half an hour train. Like, luckily, the whole area is very, very densely. Like, it's like one of the biggest like metropolitan areas in Europe. Like, there's like 17 million people there, but none of the towns get like above like 500,000. So it's just a bunch of medium-sized towns all grouped together. Yeah. So, but basically, I went there for the festival. It also had a Progress X, Defy X, Noah show as part of it as well. And obviously we had one Timothy Thatcher and Hideki Suzuki were part of the Tag Team Festival, which, first of all, I do think like whatever happened there between like Suzuki and Noah definitely seems like it wasn't a good break, right? Like, they kept him on the website forever, so we weren't sure if he was really gone, and they kept Real around forever. So again, that kind of kept things a bit vague. But the fact that he was like, I mean, he was in the building most likely when the Noah show happened, and he didn't work like what was technically a Noah show, and that he didn't work it, I do think is notable. I do think that means like whatever happened there is like not bad, but definitely seems like the relationship is just completely done. Like same with
Ninja Mac.
Thatcher.
I was going to say Ninja Mac.
Yeah. I mean, Ninja Mac jumping to New Japan. Yeah, that's pretty clear as well. So yeah, it seems like we're in a bit of. I mean, obviously we're in a bit of a turnaround period there for Noah, really. I mean, I would also say, and I kind of like did Noah in quotation marks as well, because really there were only 2 Noah people on the show. Like not even like even leaving aside that like you literally had Timothy Thatcher and I know Thatcher worked the show. I'm stupid. Thatcher was literally in the main event. But Hideki didn't work the show. And that there's another Noah wrestler that is literally on the continent that didn't work the show either, in Yoshiki Inamura. And I do think at this point, right, Gerard, like at first I was like, no, like this second excursion of Inamura is definitely real.
Well, he was in the UK.
He was for the Noah tour. And then he's worked 2 times since then and hasn't since the end of September.
Oh.
So is this actually like it's more than we got from the second Junta excursion, right? That definitely wasn't real. But do we still think this is a real excursion now?
I'll give it to the end of the month, which is 2 weeks.
Yeah.
He's got to show up somewhere in Europe.
Yeah.
Or
Otherwise,
I'll take it.
Yeah, like somewhere that is not Japan. Yeah, basically.
I was going to say they should send him to Canada because you don't need a visa as a pro wrestler. There's a good amount of shows going on in like in and around like between Toronto and Montreal, and that whole corridor. So I don't know. But we'll see what happens to it. It could be another mythical fake excursion.
Yeah. Now, as for the matches itself, so we had so Thatcher and Hideki were actually eliminated in the first round, which I was actually kind of surprised by because Thatcher is like a legend basically in WXW. Like and this was his return to the promotion as well. So he got a massive pop. And I will say actually Hideki got himself over by the end of the weekend too. So I do feel like he will be back. I feel like they're probably going to try and get him in their like shoot style ambition tournament. Yeah. So they lost in the first round. Hideki wasn't the one getting pinned in that, by the way. Again, Thatcher is a legend, former champion, but he was the one getting pinned. Which actually led me on a whole conspiracy theory tirade that I like dumped on Gerard in the DMs of me being like, I think Hideki is on the way to the airport and he's probably not even going to be like doing anything. And he did like the only show he didn't work that I was at was the Noah show. So he did actually work all of the other shows. He even did a comedy match. He was actually really good in the comedy match on the final night, where actually was Thatcher playing the straight man, not him. So I know he definitely worked hard. On the Noah show itself, we had Taishi Ozawa versus Cara Noir. And I have to say, I really struggle. I just do not care much for Cara Noir. There are...
Yeah, he had a thing like a couple years ago, but that's... Yeah. He had his moment.
Yeah, and I will say, I mean, obviously, like, wrestling used to be like all like former athletes, and then it kind of transitioned over to like having more theater kids. And I'm not even someone that's like, oh, that's really a bad thing. It just becomes a problem when it is a very specific kind of theater kid, and unfortunately, Cara Noir is that specific kind of theater kid where like there's no self-awareness there, like there is with others. Like it's just literally he just thinks whatever he does is like the greatest fucking shit ever, and it's very annoying. Otherwise, yeah, I thought Ozawa did well, and as it turns out, as we'll talk about later, that was actually the last match of his excursion. I actually did not expect it to be over already. I mean, it was less than a year. Like I saw him in Japan at the beginning of the year, and he really only like went to Europe in February. So really, it's like bit more than 6 months excursion, really. And then the other Noah match on the show was Axel Tischer versus Marufuji. So this definitely was like the level of Marufuji work that, like, for example, we got like in other like recent big singles matches. But it also wasn't like super low effort Marufuji. I think he was like somewhere in the middle, basically. Pretty good match overall. They kind of bungled up the finish a bit, where like the referee fucked up the count on the pinfall. Tisha actually managed to recover it nicely with a post-match promo, so good job for him there, where he basically was like, yeah, you like screwed me over. That wasn't free. That was not a real pinfall, and let's have a rematch in Japan. So we'll see if that actually is a thing, if that's actually a thing that will happen, where they bring over Tisha to Japan, which I would be all in favor of, because I think Tisha is one of the best workers in Europe, and I think that's definitely someone that I think would fit in really well in Noah as well. As long as they don't put him in like Team 2000X or something like that.
We'll get to that.
Oh, yeah, we will. Otherwise, maybe just a quick also from Japanese perspectives as well. Abe and Irie went really far in the tournament and were two of the highlights. Like, they're both extremely over in WXW now. And then the tournament was won by Youngblood from New Japan. And they also did really, really well for the entire weekend.
That's good. So this is a bit of breaking news, but I could not have this on. The DDT announced that Haruto Sakuraba, who is an actor that's performed in theater, I think they mean like stage acting, but I'm not sure, as Tokyo Revengers and Grappler Baki, will make his wrestling debut at Sumo Hall on December 28th. I think that's Ultimate Party, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you go and you take a look, this guy is huge.
Fucking massive.
He's got 24-inch pythons, brother.
He really does. Like, he really could do like a fucking Japanese like Big Papa Pump gimmick.
Anyway, I can't wait.
Oh yeah. I'm going to be curious how mobile he is, but like if he's just halfway mobile, like that dude, like he's going to get really over with the crowd really fast.
All I'm going to say is that I am actually relatively confident, given what DDT was done with Kaisi Takechi.
Oh yeah, actually, I'm going to be curious, like if he has like a noticeable effect on drawing as well.
Yeah,
like the whole stage act thing. I mean, they do have their fans. It's not quite as big of a rabid fan base as like other stuff, and it is also generally seen as like a bit of the lower end of acting as well. But yeah, I mean, I can't imagine that guy doesn't have like at least somewhat of a rabid fan base that will follow him wherever he goes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Sumo Hall is a big building, but I bet he could pop working.
Yeah. No, it's. I don't think they'll sell it out, but I do think he will maybe make a bit of a difference. They probably sell some extra tickets.
Okay, so we'll start with Noah, and okay, I promise I'd be really quick on this because so much time has passed. But I didn't even watch all of the shows, but I watched like the stuff from the UK shows. First of all, Paul, have you ever seen Will Cruz?
Will Cruz. Oh, Will Cruz. Yeah.
Cruz.
Yeah. So sorry, I will just pronounce him like the football player Tony Kroos because he's from my hometown. A little bit, like not a lot, but I've watched some matches.
I mean, I think there's something there, especially sending him to Japan.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. He's one of those guys that I think
I really
can very much benefit.
I really enjoyed his match against Inamura. All I would say is he needs to probably grow a beard. a baby face, which doesn't work on a guy his size because a round guy. But I really like him, and I think Noah would do well if they gave him a shot. Completely honest. You had also okay, so also on the show had actual Tisha versus Taishi Ozawa, and it's funny because man, Ozawa botched so much in this match and it only went 5 minutes and 40 seconds.
I don't think, like, he definitely can botch some stuff sometime. Generally, he's not a complete botch machine. So it might have just been that he was just having an off night, basically.
I hadn't seen him in a while. And I was just like, oh, and that was like the first match I watched on the show. And I was like, oh.
Especially against a guy like Tisha, who is one of the better workers as well. So it's like, you know.
So, and then Ricky Knight Jr. versus Manny Busoy was fine, but kind of disappointing. And then the main event on the first night was in Edinburgh. It was Kiyomiya and Kitamiya versus Jack Morrison, Saxon Huxley, which is a perfectly solid tag. Good, 3.5 star match, but you've seen it on like Noah's show at Billy.
Yeah.
On the second show on September 7th in Manchester, what did I watch from the show? I think I only watched Ricky Knight Jr. and Axel Tisha versus Kaito Kiyomiya and Keno. and Knight used the Knight Driver to beat Kiyomiya, and that was a perfectly solid match, actually. And Luke Jacobs versus Taichi Ozawa was actually a much better recovery for Ozawa, and that was solid.
I mean, Jacobs, that's another guy like that. I think no.
Well, see, here's the
try to
thing.
get some bookings on.
Well, what are the politics of that?
I mean, I feel like he's a bit above. He's literally the Rev Pro and the Progress champion. So I don't think politics even apply to him.
Okay, so it's not like New Japan has first dibs or anything like that, is what I'm thinking.
I mean, but then they should have already booked him for like the G1 or whatever, right? Like if they really wanted him, I get like, yes, like in theory he's good. Like definitely is a guy that New Japan should be like, yeah, he fits us like a glove. But also like if they just don't like get in and book him, then I think it's fair game
for sure,
for like Noah to jump in.
Yeah, definitely. And then on the London Electric Ballroom, we had and Yohei versus Lycos and Kid Lycos 2, which was fine. I don't know. It just seemed like there to me, and it was more Hayata and Yohei, not exactly the best of highest of efforts.
The Kid Lycos also is a bit mediocre too.
The Progress World Title 3-way match was very solid, but it's still a ridiculous 3-way match. I mean, you could have just done Inamura versus but this was still a pretty good match. It might have been, even though I'm not like a fan of these 3-ways, a match on the tour. And the main event for the GAC title was Kaito Kiyomiya versus Ricky Knight Jr. That Kiyomiya won with this modified Shining Wizard, and I don't know, it's like a 3 3/4 match, very good, but not like amazing. So, I mean, there's nothing you need to really go out of your way and see on these shows or anything like that. And as you can see, they were not exactly booked in, it was not exactly dynamic booking of the tour or anything like that. Actually, we can also sort of quickly go through this because on the 30th, Shinjuku Face, there wasn't really anything on the show except for the main event, which was a perfectly perfunctory tag title match against Kotoge. And I'm surprised that Kotoge took the pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like they see something in O'Hara where they're like, I don't know. Like, I think it's more. I think the thing that annoys me even more is like the fact that like I do think there's something there with Kotoge that I just don't get why they refuse to push him completely.
Well, because you already had that first heavyweight flop.
Yeah, but then you can still push him as a junior. Like, I don't know.
No, I know. Someone likes him because I think he's Go's partner because Go probably wants him there, I think. But that's as high as he's going to get. And then, on that show, Wagner and Galeno versus Soya and Oka Sasaki was pretty good. And then Kaito versus Daiki Oshima was also a lot of fun. But again, you don't have to watch the show. And in a show that even had less turnout, and the following week, so the one on the 30th had 287 fans. The following week at Shinjuku Face again had 189.
Yeah, really, really bad. That's like big Japan level numbers.
There was nothing on this show, really. I mean, they did more of this.
But we'll get to that.
With that Jack Morris, Anthony Green, LG Clary 3-way on the 30th was actually fine. And then another, DQ victory for Green the following week. And the main event was an elimination match that Kiyomiya won by eliminating Kitabiya Shining Wizard. That made no sense.
I mean, the one thing I did like, though, that they kind of like set up the like N Innovation tournament. For the title shot. So, I mean, I think that's at least something good. I actually really like that they're doing something with the junior division. Like where they're doing this like little tournament so that there's like something you can sink your teeth into. I think that's good.
Sure. That is a step forward for so we go on to Star Navigation Premium Akitoshi Saito Ridge Road Last Korakuen on October 14th in front of 1,302 fans. Paul, I gotta say that they really had to pour a lot into the show just to get 1,300 in.
Yeah.
If you think about what All Japan is doing.
I mean, it's kind of around there as well, but like they don't have to put every title on the show, basically.
No, I know. Yeah.
Well, not every title, but they did put like the 2 biggest heavyweight titles, and like they did put a lot of like they put 3 title matches on the show,
and then you had that
Saitos and
the shoot style.
Yeah.
Special tag match, as we'll get to in a moment.
Yeah.
So start off the show, Hayata versus Daiki Odashima. This is probably Odashima's worst match so far.
Yeah, well, I mean, can't even blame him for that.
Yes. Shuhei Taniguchi and Ada defeated Gleno Dama and Alpha Wolf at 17 with the Maybach Bomb from Taniguchi on Wolf, and this just continues a silly angle of Taniguchi.
I mean, he is genuinely losing weight. Like, I actually was like,
Yeah.
oh, wait a minute, that is actually Taniguchi. Holy shit, he is. He also doesn't look. He doesn't look well, which is generally what you look like if you try to like crash lose weight as well.
Yeah, especially when you're in your mid. Oh God, he's like what 46, 47 too. God.
Yeah.
And Innovation Scramble tournament scramble. Junta Miyawaki, Tadasuke, Kai Fujimori, and Yuo Owada defeated Yohei, Amaska, Dragon Band, and Yuto Kikuchi in 5 minutes, with Miyawaki pinning Yohei. Watch him go out in the first round.
Oh no, absolutely he will. Like the fact that he won here tells me he's absolutely losing in the first round.
It was fine, but it was only 5 minutes. What can you say? Okay, Jack Morrison Daga defeated Anthony Green and LJ Clary in 5:56. Look, the Morrison Green exchanges are pretty good, but then whoever was under that mask threw like Jack with a pipe, and he hit Green with it to get the pin with the Dagger Driver afterwards, and quite possibly the worst angle of the year then happened.
God, this was so cringe, like from start to finish.
Okay,
there's nothing good about this angle.
So Morris cut a "You People" promo.
It was so bad. It's like literally it's literally like fucking Russo shit of like, to all the people in the back, and like and also nobody understood him. Like I struggle to understand him, but I've also like lived on those fucking blasted islands up in the like North Sea, so I kind of understand how they talk there. Like I don't think anybody in the audience understood him.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and then, but I did get a chuckle when he like said, "Should I paint my hair blonde or dye my hair blonde or something?"
No, that was the one good line in there.
And he took a shot at Kaido copying moves.
Yeah,
right.
But that almost feels like a low hanging fruit because everybody's doing that.
Yeah, but it was funny. Anyway, so the mysterious man with in the skull mask, and it's oh my god, Yoshitatsu, who's in like Joker makeup, and I don't know what he says, but the name of the team is Team 2000X, which, you can call it Team 2000X because that's how the way copyright laws are in Japan. You can be very close to things as long as you don't actually use the real name. So now you're just doing a retread of the Masahiro Chono's whole Team 2000.
Okay, again, that's already bad, but like that's not even a Noah faction. That's a New Japan faction. Why are we doing derivative versions of New Japan factions from 24 fucking years ago?
Well, my only explanation is that Yoshitatsu got to like.
But he wasn't even in Team 2000, was he? Like, I think he started like after they disbanded. So like that makes even less sense. Like, and also very Yoshitatsu to start doing like a fucking Joker gimmick, just as Joker 2 is like flopping massively in the cinema and maybe finally freeing us from all of the fucking Joker bullshit that we've had to deal with in pop culture since The Dark Knight. So banger on there and like completely missing the like timing on that. I don't even know what to say about this. This is so bad. Like I actually like the show overall, so I don't want to like harp on it too much, but yeah, this was easily the dumbest thing this company has done in the entire year, which, you know what, is actually kind of a compliment, but it's still I just stood there and I was like, this is so bad. Like Morris promo was really bad and cringy. Joker Yoshitatsu, like he's not even a wrestler, he's going to be the manager too. Like,
well,
someone in the Discord called him like Dollar Store Taru, which that's very true.
I expect him to end up wrestling. He's gonna finagle wrestle.
Yeah, of course. Like, why would he not? Like, he's been wrestling on the Limit Break shows. Like, I don't know, like, why we would assume that he's retired.
Also, it's just weird to have a faction with two guys in a minute.
Yeah. I do think that they're probably going to add someone else to that as well, because I don't think they're going to stick with 3 people.
Yep.
It's probably going to be something really stupid, like, I don't know, Junta Miyawaki's turning or something like that.
Mm-hmm. So, absolutely worst angle of the year. I can't think of it, at least on what I've watched in Japan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like there's probably something in WWE or like AAA or something, or probably something on like a Dynamite or something. I don't know.
So so for the GHC tag team title, Naomichi Marufuji and Takashi Sugiura defeated Keno and Alejandro in 13:08 with an avalanche-style Olympic slam from Sugiura on Alejandro. So Alejandro has a new mask where you can see his hair. It looks good, actually. I really like this. It was solid. They just started like the All Rebellion blitzed him, and like Keno hit like a PFS on Segura like 30 seconds into its match. And then, it was just fast in there. And then eventually they, not surprisingly, Alejandro took the pin after they isolated. But it was just really good match.
I thought Alejandro got a lot of more shine than I expected him in here as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I think he's a really underrated tag worker because Noah rarely gave him really like much of a chance to do tag work, right?
But he had that great tag run in Dragon Gate.
Exactly, yeah, that's what I mean. Like he's now done great tag work with both Kaito and Keno. So I think like they should just like that's what he should be doing. I think that's what he should be focusing on because he's been really good whenever he's been given a chance, and I thought he was really good here. Like I think especially his chemistry with Segura, like that really surprised me how well those two work together. Well, like Segura actually gave him a lot, and then Alejandro just sold his ass off, and Segura just started tossing him around. And I thought this was really, really.
Yep, definitely. And then next special tag match, Masakatsu Funaki and Kazuyuki Fujita defeated Josh Barnett and Uka Sasaki in 14:26 with the heel hold from Funaki on Barnett. I mean, look, these guys are old except for Sasaki, but I did enjoy this. Like 3.25 star enjoy this. I liked Fujita and Barnett like pummeling each other, and Funaki and Barnett had nice little exchanges of holds at the end, and then Funaki got the better of them. Perfectly solid shoot style match. Although it was funny because they started on the mat with like Funaki and Barnett, and then they started running the ropes a couple minutes.
Well, like this is a UWF match. Actually, no, it's not. No, I also think this. Yeah, it surprised me as well how much I ended up liking the match. I felt actually like I was especially afraid that like the 3 old shooters are just gonna put in like really minimal effort, but no, they all like seem to be into the match. And I think it helps that like Sasaki is a former UFC guy, so that they actually have like proper respect for him as well.
Yeah, and they all did that's a big thing because they all sort of like raised each other's old guys, doing everything like that. I mean, ideally, maybe you wanted to give Uka the rub.
Yeah, that's the other weird.
Funaki's been doing. We'll get to this later, but Funaki's been doing a few jobs lately.
Like, first of all, I was shocked Ulka didn't do the job and that Barnett did it. Like the fact that Barnett is like the last person in here that I expected to do the job. But yeah, I do agree that like Ulka probably should have gotten the rub here, but I mean, you still have enough time to like build him up until January, so it's fine.
And the next match for the GHC national title, Manabu Soya defeated Ahio Dr. Wagner Jr. 11:30 with the jumping DDT. I mean, this is great while it lasted. Like really good, like closing stretch, but I mean, I was wanting more.
Oh yeah, this was way too short. Like they could have given them like another 10 minutes easily. I think it really shows us what we were robbed of on the like final block night. Because I think that would have been a barn burner there. This was still really good though, and Soya is just absurdly over in Korakuen Hall. Like Wagner is crazy over, but like Manabu Soya might be the most over guy in Korakuen Hall right now in any promotion.
Yeah, for sure. Just the amount of heat he generated, and I guess this sort of adds more. I feel like the way this match went and the length, just adds more that Wagner's leaving fire. Now there's like a Wagner feature up on the Noah time. So I don't know, because they do like a little like a Bima show where they profile all the wrestlers. The next one's on Wagner, but it could just be like they're putting something up there. So
I mean, but then again, I mean, for him, it's also like, as much as I would hate to see him go, it is also kind of like the right time for him, right? Like if he's gonna sign, like he's in his early to mid 30s now, right? And he's done all he really can, and no, like he's literally like won all of the like titles, and so if he has an offer on the table from one big American promotion, and like it feels like now is the time for him to go there, unless he's like, because really like the only other way he can move up is like if he goes to like New Japan, which I don't know if they're interested in him or not. Like that's the only other place I could see him go to.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll see. Well,
that one is politically difficult because of him being a AAA guy and like CMLL and all of that. So I don't know how that's impossible.
And then Akitoshi Sato, Ridge Road, Last Corkin Akitoshi Sato, Shiro Koshinaka, and Akira defeated Go Shiozaki, Muhammad Yone, and Atsushi Kotoge in 15-20. The death grant from Sato on Kotoge, even though Yone is right there.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm shocked Saito didn't take the pin here.
yeah, he'll probably take the pin in his actual retirement match.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's not gonna pull a Kobashi.
This was that was a really good match, and it was sort of like I was expecting it to be a decent match, and it was, right? Akira and Koshinaka both still like can go. Well, we've already talked about Akira this year a couple of times.
Yeah.
But Koshinaka can still do. He still did the hip attack off the ace. So.
Which is surprising that, yeah. But again, like he also has been like not a regular wrestler for like a long time at this point, which probably preserved his body. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's like 60. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then forgot to mention Soya and Shiozaki's the next national title match.
Yeah,
that's going to be amazing. And then main event, Kaito Kiyomiya defeated for the GHC title. Kaito Kiyomiya defeated Masa Kitamiya in 22-33 with a figure 4 leg lock to make his 5th defense of the GHC title. Paul, I mean, it was pretty good. I thought it was fine, and then I thought I sort of like the structure where like Kitamiya was actually fighting at the end to force Kiyomiya to like keep trying to put him away, and then Kiyomiya to put him in the figure 4. Now the transition from the prison lock to the figure 4 was sloppy as hell, but I like the match, but it still felt like a filler title.
Yeah, I think I liked the match well enough. I don't think this is like a 4-star match for me. I think it's just below that because
3 3/4 is what I want.
Yeah, because as you said, like it felt like a filler title defense. There was like I never had the feeling Masa Kitamiya was gonna had like a fucking snowballs chance in hell to like win. So I think that kind of hurt it for me as well. But otherwise, yeah, I liked the match well enough. It was over with the crowd as well. So as opposed to like some other stuff we're going to be talking about more towards the end of the show that also happened in the same building. So I maybe had a little bit higher expectations, but I probably should have realized that like just by like knowing that like Masa Kitamiya can't win, it probably would have hurt my enjoyment of the match, but I still enjoyed it for what it was.
So going on from Noah, just real quick, this weekend, well, Monday is our first episode of the new season of Monday Magic, so we all have that to look forward to, but nothing's been announced. But we got Limit Break 4 on Sunday, October 20th. Main event is Go versus Haruto Ki for the 0-1 World Heavyweight title. I think that's going to be really good. Paul, Akitoshi Sato's last Limit Break match is Akitoshi Sato and Jun Akiyama versus Satoshi Kojima and Yu Owada.
Ooh, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, we've got Kazuyuki Fujita versus Suji Ishikawa.
That could like literally go into a shoot.
I could. We got Kotoge and Ohara versus Koji Iwamoto and Takumi Saito. We've got Mohamed Yone and Kohei Kinoshita versus Tetsuya Endo and Yuki Onaya. We've got the Reeve Mask and Yuki Ino versus Black Menso Ray and Tomomitsu Matsunaga, and then Kai Fujimura versus Daiki Odashima. But that is looking like one of the better limit breaks recently. So Monday Magic and Monday Magic 2, we don't have any cards, obviously. But on November 6th at Corkin Hall, we're going to have, because they came out after the match, we're going to have Marufuji versus Takashi Sugiura to be the number 1 contender for the GHC title. And what do you think? Because
is it actually for the number 1 contender? Because I saw a graphic that like showed it as a freeway.
No, it's not a freeway. I thought that's what I thought it was too, but it's not. It's being like
thank God.
Either or. So I think. I mean, Paul, what do you think?
I think this one is going to be Sugiura.
Oh, you do, eh?
Because I think they're doing Marufuji versus Kaito January 1st.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, because that's a big match. You have a big even with what you've announced. Otherwise, that's still a big title match that you can do. And I don't think they've ever done that, right? For the title?
Yeah. No. I think they did it on Kiyomiya's original GHC title run.
Okay, but like that's
it's
4
been a
years
while.
ago at this point.
Oh,
Yeah, like
it's even
it's a
longer.
fresh match for sure.
Let me just because Humia beat Sugiura to win the title for his first time, actually. And then
Yeah.
Paul, we are 5.5 years because it was March 10th, 2019.
Oh wow. Yeah, no, you can like they've saved that matchup. Yeah, you can definitely do that. You need to do that. Like I get you need to fill Dolphins Arena, but I do feel like January 1st is still a bigger show, right?
Okay, here's my pushback, Paul. Why are you going to have Marufuji do a job in a number one contenders match? Like,
yeah, that is also stupid. Okay, you're right.
but it's Noah, so I don't put anything past these people.
Yes,
I just wouldn't.
That should have been my argument.
I wouldn't have the next challenger lose and then come back to. And then on Saturday, November 9th, we have Soya versus Shiozaki for the national title, and that's in Osaka. Is also like Saito's last in Osaka. And then of course I keep thinking like it keeps being like, oh, but this show is like farther. I keep thinking it's farther away than it is, but it's November 17th, so it's like now a month away, and that's Dolphins Arena, and there's going to be the Sato retirement and everything like that. Paul, do you have any other thoughts on this an Innovation tournament? Because I don't really have that many thoughts on it. But
no, like I said, I think it's a good idea to do. I think it's a fresh idea. Yeah.
Because I'm going to say the junior division, I thought was having a little hope. I enjoyed the Tadasuke and Yohei tag reign, but with Daga and everything back, and now Hayata and Yohei as the champions, like, and this bizarre gimmick with Taniguchi, I don't know. I have like no enthusiasm.
I mean, they need more depth as well. Like it's also a bit of a stale. Like they need more depth and like some fresh faces. Like it's a pretty stale division. Like it's been the same faces for like a while now, and like as weird as that sounds, given that it's the Noah Junior division, a lot of people also in the same roles, right? Like okay, they put Rattels back together, but it's not really that much functionally different from like what Hayata was before and what Yohei and Tadasuke were in Good Looking Guys. So I think we need someone. we need a few turns. Actually, for once, we actually need somebody to turn in the Noah Junior division because it would freshen up things a bit.
It is bizarre to say that, but it's true. I don't know. I mean, it's just like you've got. I mean, you signed Ada, but now he's weight loss angle. Like, come on.
And I mean, Ada was functionally signed anyway. Like, he just formalized what was already the case. He was working more Noah than he was working Dragon Gate for like the last 2 years. So it's not like he's a fresh new face either.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's just...
You need a bit of a shake-up there.
Because I thought things were turning the corner. And I don't even have that big of an issue with the Rattels recently, but they're just reverting to type. Because it's like, well, you got Yuto Kikuchi in there, and that's something fresh. And I think he's a talented young guy and everything.
He's good,
like
yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, fine. We'll use Rattels and establish this new guy, but not get any of that vibe or anything like that. So I don't know. More Noah Junior division just to roll your eyes at, I guess.
Yeah. And you're moving Alejandro Kaina weirdly into the heavyweight division by having him team with like Kaito and Keno. Not doing any junior work either. So it's another guy missing. So yeah, very weird division at the moment.
So okay, I finally found the brackets for the N Innovation. Because that's what I was looking for. So the finals are on the 6th. And then so like Tadasuke and it's Dragon Bane and Kai Fujimura. And then we got Yuto Kikuchi versus Yu Owada. We got Yohei versus Junta. And then Amasuka versus Tadasuke. So your finals options are one of Yohei, Junta, Amasuka, and Tadasuke versus Owada, Kikuchi, Fujimura, and Bane. So I think it's Bane versus like somebody, right?
Yeah. Unless they want to like push Kikuchi real hard right out of the gate, but I don't really get the feeling that that's what they want to do.
No, but I'd send him to the next round. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway. No. I mean, he's beating a young boy. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so that is Noah. So
we have 2 more things actually for Noah. We haven't talked about yet.
What?
Well, Ozawa's back and he's in All Rebellion.
Oh, right. Yes, I'm sorry. That was okay. You know the reason I forgot that, Paul? Because it was the worst way to re-debut someone.
Yeah, oh yeah. Just literally, he's here now. Hey.
Yeah, it's like Kaido's doing his entrance, and then like someone comes up, pulls off a mask up beside him, and it's Ozawa, and then Kaido, they smile, and then Kaido just keeps walking on his entrance and everything.
Anyway, yeah.
Like horrible.
Yeah, it's such a weird way to bring him back, but at least like putting him right into our rebellion gives me some hope because it's like the hot, big like main event faction, so he's going to be in a prominent position. So I think that's good that he's in there. And he's not even like the fall guy because Cristobal is still the fall guy, so that's good. And the other big thing is the January 1st match, Shinsuke Nakamura with Olga Sasaki.
Yes. They had Budo too.
Of course he did.
Look, I think we've both been supportive of Sasaki.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think of this? Because like I don't know.
I do think I think it definitely shows that they have plans for him, right?
Yeah.
Because this is like literally like the end. Like you have to remember, this is the anniversary of his debut, the first anniversary of his debut.
Oh, right.
And yeah. So like I think that shows me that they have a lot of like I don't think he's gonna beat Nakamura. Like if he is, then they're gonna like rocket pack this guy. But like even if he just loses, like I think it clearly shows that like they have big plans for him, and
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised. Like I think he's definitely getting a GC title match at some point early next year. I don't know if he's going to win it. I don't know if they're that quick about it, but I definitely do think like he is going to win that title, I think, sooner rather than later.
Okay. Well, see, I thought he was going to have a longer national title reign. But not that I could complain about Soya, but like this is Soya's consolation prize because this is, folks, this might be the defining title run of Soya's career. I mean,
yeah.
Because it's not going to be. I mean, if they let him have one, that's at least 6 months, right? Because you never know.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
this is it because I don't think they're.
Oh no, for sure.
He is now.
No. I mean, with his effort level and his overness and like his look right now, they should. But I also get it based on his age that they're not really interested in doing that right now. But yeah, I will like let's just enjoy this while we have it.
Yes, I think that's a fair way. So that's Noah. I have to say it's like it's a constant back and forth because there's stuff I really enjoyed on the show. I mean, I really enjoyed the Uka Sasaki, what they're doing with him and everything, but then it's like you are the juniors in Team 2000. I mean, especially
that's I hope I don't think they're gonna abort mission on that because obviously. Oh wait! Oh God! Yeah, now I realized what they're gonna do January 1st. It's obviously gonna be Morris versus Kaito.
You think that's what it is?
He really just gave him his own faction, right?
Yeah.
And he was specifically attacking Kaito and Keno and about them being the only people that ever get like opportunities. So he's probably like gonna be. Could you see them do Keno versus Morris at Dolphins Arena, and then they do Kaito versus Morris January 1st?
I guess because that'll be in mid-November. That's very possible, and that's probably.
I mean, they don't have anything in December, right? Because they have the January 1st show.
Yeah. Well, they'll have like a Korakuen or some December, but like, here's what I think. Like, if you're trying to hype up Morris, you need him in a cooler faction than what you gave.
Yes, yeah. Because this just has like strong like mid card energy.
I mean, I don't even really think we talked about like the response. The crowd did not like that Yoshitatsu.
No, they did not give a shit as well.
It wasn't like heel like, ooh, this guy's evil. Like it was like, get out of.
Yeah.
It was go away heel.
Because again, how could you care about Yoshitatsu like now? Like it's literally like guy that got like cast off by All Japan because they didn't have any use for him anymore.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Noah. We'll move quickly on because we have a very final segment of the show that I think is a bit of a surprise for you all. But so with All Japan, we had some shows this weekend on October 12th at the Gyota Green Arena main arena Saitama in front of 853 fans, which I don't know how many tickets they were selling to any of these shows, but those venues look like they could have held more people. But I also think that like, because we had this discussion in the All Japan channel of the VOW Discord, Fukuda was in the basketball business, so he might be getting deals on these basketball, and stuff like that. Because they didn't sell any.
It's also,
I was gonna say they only sold floor tickets. It seems like no one was on the deck.
And it's also like buildings that don't really do wrestling like regularly, right?
Yeah.
Like same with that building that he ran like on the outskirts of that he ran for like Yuma versus Yuma. Like
Yeah.
that was on the outskirts of Tokyo as well. So like it's not really a building that like super often gets wrestling. But again, it's a basketball arena. So yeah, I definitely do think that he like gets like a brother discount by like people that he knows from his time in basketball.
Well, yeah, that's what I think. But although the thing is that that one venue that they run is like a historical building because they used to run wrestling, but they don't run wrestling in there so much anymore. So All Japan has gone back there. But yeah, it's probably still the case there. I enjoyed these shows. The undercards were perfectly solid. Like we had Suwama versus Ryo Inoue in the opening match, and that was a lot of fun. We had the Tokyo Yankees versus Hokuto Army, which is Cyrus and Jack Kennedy defeating Kuroshio, Tokyo Japan, and Seigo Tachibana with the reverse splash from Cyrus on Tachibana. This is a guilty pleasure, Paul. I enjoyed the match.
No. I thought this was pretty good too.
I did not know this, but Jack Kennedy speaks English. Or sorry, he of course he speaks Japanese.
Yes, he does speak English.
He can cut.
He's lived there for a while, right?
Okay,
He's
so
actually been around for a while.
He's an English teacher apparently, which I did not realize. I thought he was just like some guy that went to train in Japan.
Oh, interesting. By the way, as English teacher, this is completely unrelated. Did you hear that this Australian English teacher in Japan just got in trouble because he was like drunkenly climbing on somebody's roof, and now his defense, and then he allegedly threatened like his neighbor, but now he's saying that actually like his Australian accent, he was speaking English and the words just sounded like threats in Japanese because of his accent.
That's a very Australian defense.
Yes, that is a very Australian defense.
So I mean, I like Kennedy, and I think the fact that he can speak Japanese really actually.
Yeah, let's see. Like, has he even? I don't think he's actually ever wrestled outside of Japan. Yeah, no, I don't think he has.
No, I just assumed he went and trained there because I mean he was like training in like Yamagata, and there's always occasionally foreigners in these really grimy indies that like. So I think it's sort of like there's potential there. I mean he's still like a work in progress, like in developing, but I think there's something there, and speaking Japanese really helps him. And then we had Hideki Suzuki and Hikaru Sato defeating Shitaro Shino and Ryuji Hijikata in 9 minutes and 53 seconds with a regal stretch from Suzuki on Hijikata. I thought that was actually also a very fun technical match. Ashino was suplexing Suzuki around, which is cool. And then we had like a Triple Crown skirmish. Red Ayabe, Rising Hato, and Reiki Honda Rising Hato, Reiki Honda, and Yuma Anzai defeated Yuma Aoyagi, Kento Miyahara, Davey Boy Smith Jr., and Musashi in 1906 with the Iron Maiden from Ayabe on Aoyagi to sort of further establish that move. Again, that match was very solid. And then for the PWF World Junior Heavyweight title, we got Mr. Sato Naruki Doi defeating Dan Tammer in 1741 with the Bakatari sliding kick. Paul, I don't know how I feel about this match because it was like it was pretty good, but also I was like left a little wanting.
I agree. I thought it was a bit too one-sided almost. I think I would have liked a bit more of a back and forth, right? Like I felt like Doi was a bit too dominant for it as well. Like it didn't really feel super competitive, which is weird since again Dan isn't a young boy anymore. Like, and he is supposed to be a bit more dominant, but I don't really get that feeling from him in this match, which I have gotten from him previously. So yeah, I thought this was weird. Like I was definitely disappointed. I didn't think it was bad, but I was disappointed afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, I thought them like slapping, elbowing each other was great, and Dan had like didn't all come together, and so it was a little disappointing from what I thought these guys could do. And in the main event for the World Tag Team titles, Jun Saito and Rei Saito defeated Hokuto Omori and Kumarashi in 29-45 when Jun pinned Omori with the jackhammer to make their 5th defense of the titles. Paul, I actually really enjoyed this match. I don't know how they filled up 29 minutes, but they did. Like this was not obviously like a fast match, but it was still a solidly worked match. I really enjoyed the amount of like it felt like a tag team. There's lots of double team from both guys and everything like that. So I don't know. It's just like I think the Saitos have now moved into another phase where it's like, okay, these guys can actually have good matches with more people.
Like they don't have to be in there with like Kento Miyahara or like Yuma Aoyagi to have good matches. Which again, we like the two of us could probably like have a tag match with Kento and Yuma and probably get like a 3-star match somehow out of it. So I don't think that's, but yeah, like they did really well here. I do think though that like Omori and Arashi are both also guys that are like a lot better as tag team workers, but I still did not
For sure.
expect this match to be this good for this long. Like if we had gotten out of this and it would have been like, yeah, it was like a 10-minute match and it was good. I was like, yeah, I'm not surprised. But like the fact that they got a match this good, it like nearly 30 minutes, like I was shocked at how good it actually was. Like I like it's not like a match I'm gonna put on like my match of the year list or something like that. But I still like was like really I looked at the clock and I looked at the results afterwards. I was like, okay, that did not feel that long, which like it did not feel like a 30-minute match, despite the fact that it wasn't that fast paced. So yeah, no, I was really positively surprised by how good this.
And then on the next day, on the 13th, in Kira Messe Numazu for the 515 fans, we got Seigo Tachibana defeating Ryo in a way with the crucifix hold. Next challengers are going to be Hartley Jackson and Cyrus. Although
Which I'm going to be interested in that.
Yeah. Is Hartley going to be around after December?
Probably not.
Because he's booked for the Real World Tag League, but I mean, he's gotten himself in a new.
Yeah. I mean,
which good for him.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I definitely do think that he is I definitely think he is going to jump to New Japan. Which, you know what, like at this, like getting into that promotion, like at this stage of his career, like that's impressive and yeah, very good for him.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if do you think they'd hire him full time? I don't know. Or just as like a guy.
I mean, that's already enough. That you probably already make more money than you do like working All Japan if it does the.
Yeah.
You know, if like a semi-regular in New Japan.
I mean, he's like a semi-regular in All Japan, so if anything, that's just gonna go down to at all. It's probably what it's gonna.
Yeah.
Even if he's not a full timer in New Japan. So okay, so we had Seigo Tachibana defeating Ryo in a way with the crucifix hold. Again, this was not their Gaora TV title match, but it was a fun 7-minute sprint. We had Shitaro Shino, Dan Tammer, and Davey Boy Smith Jr. Defeating Suwama Hideki Suzuki and Hikaru Sato with the Bulldog Bomb from Smith on Sato. I mean, that was, I thought, a very similar match. Cyrus defeated Kuroshio Tokyo Japan in 3 seconds. Pinfall, because they brawled outside of the ring first.
Yes. That's all the match was, just a brawl on the outside, and he just tosses like Jiro's dead body in the ring and pins him.
Has anyone noticed that Jiro didn't do any jobs when he first came back, but now more jobs?
Well, probably because he realized that, like, yeah, okay, I can't big time people anymore, so I kind of need to like take my lumps now.
And then Hokuto Amori, Kumarashi, Harley Jackson, and Jack Kennedy defeated Jun Seto, Ray Seto, Mr. Seto, Naruki Doi, and Senior Seto in 1252 with the Death Valley Bomb from Jackson onto Senior Seto. This is like, it was okay, but it was just a lot of brawling outside the ring and everything like that. Yuma Aoyagi and Kento Miyahara defeated Ren Ayaba and Ryoki Hon in 18 minutes and 37 seconds with the end game on Aoyagi versus Ayabe. It was good, but it wasn't as good as you think it would have been.
No.
I bet if you give these guys the main event spot, they probably could have killed it, but it felt more like I don't know how to describe it. They were not going full tilt here or something like that.
No, they definitely felt like they were holding back. I mean, I presumably we're going to see this again in the Real World Tag League.
Well, no, because Kento and Yuma are not teaming together.
Oh, yeah, right. They're not teaming. Sorry. It's just like automatically in my brain. It's like, yeah, it's Real World Tag League. They're teaming together, right? It's like, because it's been so long that they've done that. It feels weird that they aren't.
But, you know, just trying to build up to the title match. And Aoyagi, well, see, the funny thing is Aoyagi has made Ayabe submit to the end game a couple of times. So will Ayabe fall to that again now? Oh, he can
still get. I don't like. He can still fall to the Rockstar Buster. Like, I don't think he's winning. Like,
no, that would be a huge.
He's not ready for that at all.
No. I'll let you tag title. Rising Hato and Yuma Anzai defeated Musashi and Seki Yoshioka in 21-42 with the gimlet from Anzai and Musashi to win the title. So the champions losing their V5 defense, and Hayato and Anzai are the 125th champion, the longest active titles in Japan. This was, you know what? This was like also a very good match, but it was also a very different match than the previous day. Whereas the first match, like the Satos, felt like, okay, this is like a traditional solid tag match. Whereas this was like obviously like more like high speed go 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 go. I thought the closing stretch between Anzai and Musashi was very good. So I think it's gonna be like come down to like what style you like more. I
mean this felt more like a Dragon Gate match almost.
Yeah, it's much faster and everything like that. I actually liked the Saito match slightly, but if you like this match more, I would not argue with you. I think it's just like some stuff and everything like that.
Oh yeah, I thought this was awesome. Yeah, as you said, like it was much higher, faster paced, which I have to admit I do really like. Yeah, no, this was just go, just spots and pretty awesome overall. And also, actually, fun fact, so I looked into it, right? Because the All Asia Tag titles, like basically when were they last on like, because at first I was like, okay, when were they last on like a former Triple Crown champion, which I didn't have to go that far back for that. But then I was thinking, well, okay, when were they actually last on like a former Triple Crown champion that is still like in his peak, basically, right? Like that is still kind of like an active main eventer and not like a guy that is very clearly being downcycled. And I had to go back to like basically like Hama at the beginning of his career.
Oh, that's funny.
Because then otherwise, yeah, you obviously had like people like Jun Akiyama or like Yuji Nagata, like as like former Triple Crown champions that have held that belt more recently. But obviously that was like when both of them were like, well, I mean, to be fair, that was like before Nagata's Triple Crown reign. So actually technically doesn't count, but like, you know, you know what I mean? Like, it's not that like this, like it's very rare that like an active like top guy holds these belts. So I do think that's very interesting. And I wonder, I think it's a really good idea. I think it gives Hayato something to do. It gives Anzai something to do while they're both like outside of their respective like singles title pictures. And
I agree. Yeah.
Like, and like I do think like they're going to have like great matches as well. I'm just really curious who they're going to lose these titles to, right? Because otherwise, with the All Asia Tag Team titles, it's always like a coin flip who actually wins these. Whereas like, no, you can't just have these two guys lose to like some randomers that you bring in. Like you need to have to lose them to like some proper challengers, basically.
Well, you know, Paul, I could see these guys having like easily a 6 month or more reign. Because it's just something for Anzai to do, and I don't know if he's going to do anything singles wise until maybe the Carnival again.
Yeah, I could very easily see that. Like I do think he's going to obviously he's going to factor in big into the Carnival. But yeah, I also don't think that he's going to really do anything until basically until the Carnival rolls around, which is going to be interesting because like where they might end up ranking on terms of like the one-time reign people, basically.
Yeah. So that there was a show today. Paul, did you watch any of the show? Because I only watched one match.
No, I completely forgot that there was the Shinkiba show today. It's actually when I looked up something on the All Japan show.
Can you guess which match I watched?
Wait, let me just look at them. But I didn't watch that one. I watched that one. Kuma Arashi versus Ryu Inoue?
No, but breaking on Twitter, Striga says it was a
Okay.
I watched.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch
Yuma Aoyagi versus Fuminori Abe.
Yes, I did watch that match. That was the only match I watched. It was I actually really enjoyed it. They did do a lot of comedy, but they also worked like a technical match where Yuma went after Abe's back and Abe went after Yuma's arm. And then they actually did have a pretty good fast closing stretch. I'd go 3 3/4 actually.
Nice.
Because they definitely could have done more, and if they could have wrestled this more seriously, but it was still very good, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean that's also a fun little match to like put in Shinkiba as well, because you know the fans are gonna eat that one up.
Well, I'm gonna say I was expecting like 9 minutes and like 100%. You know,
which to be fair, still would have been fun with these two, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, because there was spots like Yuma would like make a face at Abe, and then Abe would just slap him, and then Yuma mocked Abe's like little like when he like tumbles on himself back in, made fun of that and everything like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I finally bought my Abe shirt, by the way.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah. And then so we got the one show coming up on the 22nd, which we've got actress times Kyoka Iwai and Ayana Irie versus Nagisi Shiosuke Seihara. And then we have Kazuhiro Nagao's debut. No, sorry, that's a bad trance song. How do you?
I just know that the other guy had to postpone his debut because of a concussion, which is not a great start.
No, it's not a great start. I feel bad for him because
definitely.
Like there's always that like risk when you have a botch start like that, it just screws you up.
Yeah.
Forever. Taishin Nagao, Ryo Inoue, and then we've got Musashi Shitaro Shino and Jiro versus Yuko Miyamoto, Seki Yoshioka, and Hikaru Sato. For Gaor TV title, we got Ayabe defending against Tachibana. I could see Tachibana winning.
Yeah.
Maybe. And then we've got more Hokurugan versus the Saitos. Jackson, Cyrus, Kumarashi, and Hokuto Amori versus the Saitos, and then Doi and Senor. We got, this could be good. Anzai, Rising Hado, Ryuki Honda versus Davey Boy Smith Jr., Kento, and Dan Tamura. We got Shuji Kondo and Hideki Suzuki versus Suwama and X, and I still think it's Big Dog, unless you have any other expectations of it being someone else.
Yeah. It's like, who else could it be, right? Like,
yeah,
they might as well put his shape there.
And then main event for the Triple Crown, Ren Ayabe versus Yagi. They're going to do over 1,000 people, although I don't know how much more. Because just by advanced ticket sales, but I don't know if it's going to be 11 or not. That'll be interesting to see because it's on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Right? So everything like
but
that.
But again, you can draw during the week when you have a product that people actually want to see.
Yep, you can. So, Paul, we're going to get to our big little surprise and everything, but this is going to be our greatest episode ever. Because we're talking about great version Mega in Osaka at the Osaka Edion Arena in front of 1,778 fans. 1,078.
Yeah.
Paul, is this real? I think it's actually real.
Yeah, because it's already embarrassing. If you had to lie up above 1,000, like that's still bad, but like the number is already embarrassing. So
Okay, you know what the work in this attendance number is? I'll tell you, because what's that guy's name that runs great? I can't.
Yeah, I don't remember his name either.
But on Twitter, he said,
Isn't it Tamara something?
Like, I think so. Not Kiyoshi.
Yeah.
So I think it was a few days before the show, or maybe a week before the show. He's like, we're almost at our goal of 1,000 tickets sold. That's a lot. You had a higher goal.
Yeah. That is so bad when it's like, so you mean you have just barely sold more tickets than it would have been a sellout in like the smaller building. Cool. Got it.
Yeah. That's a work saying that your goal was 1,000.
Yeah, that is absolutely work. There's no way you were aiming to like have the building like a quarter full at best. I don't think that's even like there's like what, like 5,000 people can fit in there. So like a fifth.
6,000.
6,000. Jesus Christ. Yeah. This is I'm pretty sure, I haven't fully checked it, but I'm very certain because it's kind of hard to double check just for number one. But I'm very certain that this is like the worst non-pandemic number in that building, in the big arena.
No, I have a show for you. I definitely know a show that I think did worse. So let's see, because this is a very interesting question about no, that show did much better. Paul, do you remember the show on New Year's Eve 2019, Wrestle One Wonder Carnival?
Yes. No, I actually, because I had that one in mind as well. I know that one did way better than this.
It drew 1,600.
Yeah. Well, which is bad, but that's 600 people more.
That show was basically a Wrestle One plus All Japan plus, I was going to say, plus Dragon.
I mean, that show probably killed Wrestle One.
No, it was going down anyway. No,
it probably was, but that was just like,
it was all the Gaora. It was all the Gaora TV men's promotion.
So it's one of those shows.
Because you got like Big R Shimizu and Takashi Yoshida defeat Koji Dori and Ryuki Honda, and then but the main event was Daiki Yonabe and Kaito Kiyomiya versus defeated Katsuhiko Nakajima and Shotaro Ashino. But they were the only the Noah guys other than Nakayama. But it was mostly All Japan and Wrestle One. Because
actually, when I was in Japan, me and John saw someone wearing a shirt of one of those like that. And that show was actually like organized by Gaora itself, and it had like the card on it, and the card was like looked really awesome.
That just reminded me of shows that drew poorly.
Yeah. No, but I do think this is the worst number because again, you're only slightly ahead of like a sellout in the smaller building. So
You could probably. I wonder if you could be allowed to put 1,078 fans in number 2, or is that a fire code violation?
if you don't
I've
tell
seen,
the
like,
fire marshal, yes.
I've seen people claim like 1,035 in there.
Yeah. I mean, I think realistically, like I think it's just under 1,000 that you can fit in there.
Yeah.
Safely. You can fit just under 1,000 people in there safely. You can probably, if you squeeze, you can always fit in more. But yeah, like this is, and it was noticeable on the, like, again, we just had the Noah show in there that also didn't draw great either. That also didn't draw great either, and where the atmosphere was pretty dire too. But this was so much worse, the atmosphere on this show.
Yep. Oh, God. Yeah, because there were some brutally quiet matches that were actually kind of good, but we'll get to that. In a minute. Okay, so Kazuma Sakamoto, Quiet Storm, Mirko Mori, and Nico Inverardi, Isao Onitsuka, Junji, Jaden Lee, and Jesse 51 with the half package pile driver from Sakamoto on Lee. I don't know where they find these. These are like Italian guys, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I've also never heard of them. Like, I feel like I think they're exclusively working like Italy. Like, I've never seen them in any other like European promotions. So yeah, no.
As people that that Tajiri would.
Yes. These are definitely like people that were recommended by Gianni Valletta, but Gianni Valletta is in Dragon Gate, which again, that's such a weird sentence to say. And Great and Dragon Gate obviously don't see eye to eye, so I don't think he was the one that recommended them.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I don't have any thoughts on this match. It's quick. Those Italian guys might have some. And then Ryuichi, Fire Kawakami, and Brass Knuckles June defeated Kotaro Suzuki and So Damonji in 8:48 with a Brass Knuckle attack from June on Suzuki. What a waste of Damonji So, and what a waste of all of these guys, really.
What a waste of all of these. Yeah, I was about to say, like, this Brass Knuckles June gimmick is such bullshit. Like, that it's basically like June Toncho's career is done because this is such a dead end gimmick. Like, at least his career in this promotion is done. Like, maybe he can like recover somewhere else, but I don't think there's any coming back from this in Great at the very least.
Then T-Hawk defeated Takahiro Yamamura in 7:01 with the Cradle. Paul, this was the first show. This is the first match on the show that I'm gonna.
Yeah, but it was also absurdly short. It was actually me, and Mike Spears were ranting about this in the DMs to each other about like, why was this match so short?
So I don't mind the finish with the story they were telling, because like, oh, Yamamura career ending, etc. But you could have given more than 7 minutes and still had the same.
Yeah. I was getting into the match. I was like, yeah, okay, this is pretty good. And my anxiety for Yamamura is somewhat dying down. No, I'm still scared. Like, but it seems like the surgery that he got was the one he should have gotten originally. So it seems like he is going to be less likely to really badly hurt himself.
He's not going to parallel.
Yeah, exactly. It seems a lot less likely now. Like, it will, I think it will always be there for me a bit at least, but it's not like it was when he had the match of Kaito Ishida at the end of last year, which is like my least favorite good match I've ever seen. But yeah, again, I was getting into this match. I was like, yeah, okay, that's getting pretty good. And then T-Hawk just wins. And I'm like, what? Why is this already over? What the fuck? Well, like, why is this only 7 minutes? That's absurd.
Then we had El Lindemann, Octagon Jr., and Fabi Apache defeating Michiko, Chris Adonis at 12:49 with the Os cutter from Octagon Adonis. Paul, I thought I'd hate this, but actually didn't, because I thought Ridgeway versus Lindemann was good, and Octagon did some cool moves. And
Sam Adonis was so fucking loud, though.
Oh, God, yeah, he was yelling, and that would really drag the match down. He was the worst part of the match. Lindemann, Ridgeway was good. Octagon did some cool stuff, and I thought Apache and Michiko did, but that's it.
Yeah,
so about 3.25, but I thought it would.
Oh yeah, no, definitely
a train wreck, but it was. No. It was. And then we had the great MMA rules competition, and I'm not even going to recap this other than to say that I think it's a shoot, but these rules are designed for these matches to all go for draws.
Yes.
Shrek Sakini versus Kenton Man. Well, like Shrek is like twice as wide as Kenton Man, so I'm not surprised. Like that. Shrek just pushed him over and put him in a knee lock. in 30 seconds.
Like, I think he might have actually legit shot on him and just be like, yeah, no, I'm not working. No, brother, I'm not working your scrawny ass for 5 minutes. You're tapping out in 30 seconds.
I would say, I mean, I do think there's.
Yeah.
Yuazuka versus Kao Udo might have been the best one. But that's not saying much. Okay, so then we had Ryo Itaka, Kota Ibushi, Yukimitsu Takahashi, and Kikutaro defeated Minoru Tanaka, Takanori Ito, Seichi Ekimoto, and Sutin Kaku in 840 seconds with the Kamigoye on Ibushi from Ito. Ibushi didn't do much, but I thought his like closing stretch with Ito was pretty good. Because they were just kicking each other really hard. So again, it's like hard to say like what Ibushi these days because he was perfectly fine here, but he didn't do anything spectacular either. But my God, why did they have him pin Ito? Why did they have Ito?
Yeah, it's like literally anybody else in this match. Like,
yeah,
it's like the one guy you couldn't pin in this match was like Ito and Ibushi basically. And Ito took the pin. Like it was so stupid. I was like, yeah, I'm like, okay, Ibushi is actually leaning a bit more into brawling, which I've been wanting him to do, but
and just like style.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So who knows, but we'll see because I think Ibushi's coming back soon. Because Kenny's coming back. And then for the G-Affinity title, Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel defeated Kaito Ishida and Tetsuya Izuchi in 11:57 when Miguel pinned Izuchi with the feed him to the Lions. Paul, this was like the best match of the show up to this point by far, and it was a pretty darn good match. Second best match of the show, but this had no heat.
No. So if a match happens and there's no sound, did it really happen?
Or was it actually good?
Yeah, I mean it was like both of these teams are really good. Like I like Kaito. I think putting Ishida and Izuchi together is one of the better decisions that GLEAT has made recently. And obviously the Rascals are really good, and I did think again, I watched the match, I'm like, yeah, this is a perfectly good match, but like they're just being less crowdy than there was during like the fucking pandemic. There was less heat there than there was for matches with no crowd, right? Like there were literally no crowd matches that had more heat than this did. So yeah, it was like, I'm just watching this and I'm like, it felt like such a completely bizarre match where like just have like the Rascals doing spots to complete silence.
So they'll be back, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean they won the title, so they have to be.
Think about how much money GLEAT spends on flights.
Yeah. I mean, they're not the only ones that are going to be back. There's another guy we're going to talk about later that will also be back. But at least these guys are champ. I do think though that like they are only coming back to lose these titles to Lindaman and T-Hawk.
They're defending them in Pro Wrestling.
So whoever they're defending, okay. They already announced T-Hawk versus Lindaman though for like
they're defending them
December
in Wrestling
31st.
Revolver in a 4-way tag match. Lycos Jim, yes, them versus I don't know Bang and Matthews and Dub Club. I don't know who
that sounds like the most indie shit ever. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think the Rascals versus T-Hawk and Lindaman.
Yeah. And hopefully we'll have more heat in Tokyo Dome City Hall.
Yes. Super Miracle Dream Battle. Shima and Ricochet defeated Soma Watanabe and El Hijo del Vikingo in 14-12 with a 630 splash from Ricochet on Watanabe. Paul, this is the best match of the show.
Yeah. Oh yeah, by far.
And it was a lot of fun. But the Shima entrance was ridiculous.
The look on Ricochet's face when he went out there and actually realized how few people were there.
Yeah.
Like, I think he very briefly thought about just turning around and just walking out.
He would not do that to his best friend Shima.
He wouldn't, but he was like, you motherfucker flew me here, and this is my big return to Japan, and that's it. This building, there's nobody here. What the fuck? Like, this is embarrassing.
And Shima also shaved his head and had a fake goatee.
Yeah. He looks insane.
and wore pants similar to Ricochet's. She was toast. And I know people have been saying it for a while, but I think he sort of really stuck out here, given who else he was in the ring with.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he barely left his feet in this match compared to all three of these other guys.
Yeah. Because.
And I gotta say, Soma looks great.
Mm-hmm.
Has he added some muscle?
Yeah, and he's been put in like more prominent positions by GLEAT.
Yeah, but
Now,
here's
GLEAT's
the
way of
thing.
doing this is like having him lose in
Yeah.
those matches, but they very
Yeah,
clearly
that's
see
the
something in
problem.
him.
Yeah, but it's well then those matches.
Yes, obviously you should, because
That's
again,
not how GLEAT operates.
no, pro wrestling is very easy. You want to push someone, you want to like show people that the person is the next guy. It's very easy. Have them win. We just saw it work with Yuma Anjay in All Japan. It's really, really, really easy to do, but so many promotions, not just in Japan, just refuse to do it. And this is just one more example of that. But it's like, yes, we get that you really like Soma Watanabe and you want to push him eventually, but like the way to get him over is not to have him constantly lose to Shima and friends. Like that's not gonna work.
Yeah, I mean that was the peak of the show, no question.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then, well, look, I want to get your thoughts on this next match. G-Rex title, Hayato Tamura versus Parker Boudreaux in 12:44 with a lariat to make his 8th defense of the. This was perfectly acceptable. I mean, Boudreaux looks green as shit, but I thought Tamura worked hard to like, and kept it very simple. And this was perfectly defensive wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, it was very solid. It almost sometimes felt like a training match, right? Like, because you really had the feeling that like Tamura was like literally walking Parker through like the spots to like make it an acceptable match. And yeah, it definitely was better than I was expecting, because I was kind of fearing that it was going to be a disaster, and it definitely wasn't that. It was a solid match. Still, I would say like the worst title defense of Tamura's reign. But they're bringing this guy back, which you know what? If there's anywhere where he can become like a good worker, it's Japan. So like otherwise, I think it's just over.
Oh, I agree. Well, Shima has a Instagram story where it's like picture of Parker, and it's like, please come back.
They already announced it as well, so he's definitely coming back.
Well, look, I'll say this: is whatever you want to say about Shima, he's made a few foreign stars in his day.
Oh yeah, I mean, hey, this is the reason Ricochet was on the show. Also, by the way, good to like hear his old music again, which slaps. Yeah. But I mean, like, compare Ricochet before he got into the Shima orbit. Oh, sorry. Compare Ricochet before he got into the Shima orbit and Ricochet now, right? Like Ricochet after that. Like that's a completely different guy. Like before, it's very clear that like he's super athletic and can do a bunch of stuff, but he really became a worker, like in Dragon Gate, like under Shima's tutelage. So if there's anyone that can do it, it would be Shima.
Okay. Yeah. And then in the main event for the Lidette, and can't forget to say UDET WF World Title, Katsuhiko Nakajima defeated Masakatsu Funaki at 10:19 with a referee stop with a super hold for his first defense of the title. And is that the first successful defense of that title in because it might be, remember?
Trying to think.
No, because Ito won
Hayato,
it.
Right?
Ito won it because he defeated Shinya Aoki, and then Fujita Hayato beat him.
Yeah, and Fujita defended it once.
Oh, he did against Minoru Tanaka. Okay.
Yeah, because I was there.
Oh, right. And then he had to vacate.
Yeah.
And then he's back. You know what? I know that Funaki is in his, but I don't think that this match was pretty boring, and it was very standard. Boring mat work. Then they kick each other hard a bit, and then do the tease of the 10 counts. Can they get up? And then Nakajima jumps on. Very perfunctory, very simple. I went like 2.5 stars.
Yeah.
I don't think
I was very disappointed.
I don't think this match was all Funaki's fault, even given his age, because he can still do his strike combos. Even he did them in this match. You saw them in the match in Noah. The Lidette UWF rules do not help Nakajima, even though you think they would, but they don't.
They really don't. Like, my God, just think about when Nakajima was at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. It's all his fault.
It is his fault, but
even though I will always love him and always ask for him, give him a another. Like I will give him chances.
Oh, absolutely.
I will forever give. Like Paul, I owned the debut on VHS tape. I owned the debut show of World Japan, where he had his martial arts exhibition. I have literally seen this guy's career from the very start and followed the entire
as a literal child back then.
Yeah, he's like 14 years. So and what he debuted the following year, and then he had some in All Japan with some great stuff when he was like teaming with Tenry and that sort of Sasaki family angle. I always give him chances. Like like think of a guy in wrestling who's always gotten a million chances, and someone always gives him a chance over and over again. I'm that guy with Nakajima, but he's still done this to himself.
Yes. Literally started the year off at the top of the world, and then he had to fuck it up by like listening to Simon Inoki and getting All Japan nearly sued by the Inoki family, and then that whole relationship falling apart because of that.
Yeah.
And now he's here and in this promotion in front of a nearly empty building.
I know that maybe All Japan management was pissed at him, but like he probably did other.
Oh yeah, no.
Like it was like there's probably more to that story than just that.
Yeah, I mean it's well known that he's not well liked and that he is a dickhead as well. Again, I mean that's where like the whole like heat between him and Kento came from, right? Because he just bullied him when he was a trainee. So and there's no indication that like he's changed. But yeah, I mean the match here, I fully agree with you. I was very disappointed. I also thought that like the Dead rules would help Nakajima, but I don't know, like the match with Ito already was not blowing me away. So this wasn't either. And yeah, that's really it. It's like it's so far it's not off to a great start here.
No.
With him in this promotion. We'll see. I mean, we'll see how long he'll even be around. Like if he's even going to stick around once he loses this belt.
Well, he probably should drop back to Ito.
It probably should, yeah. But Ito, Ito just lost, right? What I'm thinking, what they might like, because I think Ibushi is going to win a belt, and he's either going to beat Nakajima or he's going to beat Tamura.
Do you think Nakajima will want to lay down for him?
That's a big star. I think he's fine laying down for Ibushi. Because I'm struggling to think who he would be willing to lay down. If he's not willing to lay down for Ibushi, then like, who the fuck is he going to let himself get beaten then in this promotion?
It's great doing another December show at Tokyo City Hall.
Yeah. That's what they announced, Rascals versus T-Hawk and Little Number 4. So they're doing another December 30th show, Tokyo Dome City Hall. Which, if you're listening to this and you're someone that is going to be like in Japan already because you're going there for Wrestle Kingdom, I can recommend going to that show. I went there last year. It was a lot of fun. So it's a nice building. So and you can probably get tickets at the door because I was able to.
Oh, I'm sure.
I don't think they're going to sell as many as they did this year for that even. So you might even get better seats than I did.
So. Did you watch the Korakuen show, Paul, at all?
Yeah, I watched the Korakuen show as well.
Okay, so I did. 608 fans at Korakuen 3 days later. You can draw your own conclusions. That's a bad Korakuen.
Yeah.
It was
a weekday, but again,
That's like big Japan range.
Yeah. And it was a Wednesday, but again, you can't draw on a Wednesday if you put stuff on the show that people want to see.
600 on a weekday is bad.
Yeah, it's still
900.
Bad.
If they had drawn even like 900, it would be somewhat respectable.
Hell, 800, I would have been like, you know what? Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Because then you're at least close to what you just drew in Osaka. This promotion.
So I didn't watch the first 3 matches. They were just multi-man tags. I don't know. Paul, do you have any thoughts? Did you watch them?
No. I mean, I watched them. They were all perfectly forgettable, really.
Okay.
Like they're all. I saw the Brixia Brown Breakers from Italy again. That was probably the best of the first 3 matches. Again, I do think they should keep these guys around. I do think there's something there with them, and you can probably if you train them and everything, I think they could become quite good workers as well. So we'll see if they keep them around, but I think there's something there.
Paul, so we go to these Great versus Kayoteki, which I have known because none of these Kayoteki people are necessarily related, except unless Kayoteki. So first match was Michiko versus Fabi Apache, which is funny because Michiko actually gets a win.
But she gets a win.
Fabi Apache totally knows herself.
Yeah, and she also took most of the match and just ate up Michiko, and then no-sold a bunch of her cradles already, and then literally Michiko very barely gets her with one front cradle, and just that ends the match.
Yeah. And
But
then we
again,
go
it's Fabio
to Chris-
Pace. Like, I'm not sure if Fabio Pace has ever taken a clean pin in her life.
The next up, we have Chris Ridgway versus defeating Tetsuya Izuchi in 9:44. This was great and exactly what I would expect from Ridgway. And he's like the best part of great right now.
Yeah.
You know, just great technical match. So,
And I still really like Izuchi. Like, I really hope that maybe eventually somebody will do something with him.
I don't know. There's just like a whole lot of guys that they have totally great mid card.
Yeah,
it's a shame, you know. What do you
and like there's so much, but I think that's probably the most frustrating part of this whole thing. Is like there's so much potential on this roster, and a lot of it just gets completely squandered. And these are people that, like, not to spoil things, other promotions might be able to use.
Yeah, for sure. And then we go to Josh Barnett versus Ryo Eitaka. You know, I thought this was a perfectly nice little match. I'm actually surprised at how much offense Eitaka got towards the end, but then Barnett just like finishes it with like a spinning heel kick out of nowhere for the.
Yeah, no. Again, I was also surprised how good this was.
Yeah.
Like, and how much Barnett. Yeah, because Barnett is also somebody that like loves to eat people up. But you know what? He got the win, but he gave the kid something.
And then he cut a promo and he's like talking about like, oh, when these guys face me, I expect them to be stronger afterwards. Like, okay,
sure.
Whatever. He cut a promo what he thinks like Japanese wrestling.
Yeah.
And then Ahio Del Vikingo defeated Soma Watanabe in 13:40 with a swan dive 630 splash, which was also like onto a table outside the ring.
It's onto a table, yeah.
Yeah, and that Spanish fly off the apron that Soma hit, that looks so brutal.
Yeah.
So this was really just a spot fight. There's nothing.
No, there was no psychology here. Like, it was just spots. Which, you know what? It was fun for what?
It was fine for what it was, yeah. I would say, though, I did not exactly allow Soma to show off. Soma did not look, Soma looked good here, but he did not look as good in the tag match on the previous show.
No, because it was basically just there to base for, like, Vikingo spots, basically.
Parker Boudreaux defeated Kaito Ishida in 11th Destroyer. Paul, I think this was better than the match against Hayato Tamura.
Yes, it was, but it was also a more egregious result.
Okay, but let's say Ishida took some big ass bumps. He got like thrown outside of the ring with a roll of press like in the opening minutes. And then, you know, he like attacks the legs and then finally gets the advantage. And, you know, he gives these stiff kicks to Boudreaux and Boudreaux sells them. But then, you know, Boudreaux eventually off the top rope and everything like that. I thought it was a better match for Ishida. Do you think this is what he thought he was getting into when he left, right?
No, he was like, I'm going to like reign on top of this promotion.
And it's funny, because he does way more jobs than I thought he was.
Yeah, he does more jobs here than he did in Dragon Gate.
He's also been. I mean, being used as a transitional champion, fine, but like he does a lot of more than than I thought he would.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Right.
So
the match was solid, but yeah, I was like incredibly confused when like Ishida took the pin.
Well,
it made more sense when they announced that they're going to bring him back, that they're going to bring Boudreaux back.
And in the main event, Original Strong Hearts versus Original Strong Hearts, T-Hawk, Al Lindemann, and Seki Yoshioka defeated Shima, Zachary Wentz, and Trey Miguel in 14:09 when T-Hawk pinned Shima with the Night Ride. This was pretty good. I don't think it was as good as the All-Star Tag match on the previous show, but I would probably say it's the second best match of these two shows. And, you know, of course, it was like, you know, go, go, go. But again, Shima stuck out like a sword.
Oh, yeah. You think Shima was like talking to Wentz and Miguel and was like, okay, kids, which one of you is going to take the pin? And they both told him to fuck off. And then he had to be the guy to take the fall here.
Well, here's the I don't think that's an issue for Shima, but it's like it's T-Hawk pin.
Yeah, okay, fair.
I would I should probably go through this, but I'd have to see all the Shima jobs and great, and I'd be a little curious. You know, because he hasn't really put everyone over in a big match, but somehow they got Yuma Anzai to pin him. I don't know.
Well, but that's also because everybody's like willing to lose to Yuma Anzai for some reason.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is Shima has still never really, done a passing of the torch job to Soma.
No, which again, that's something this promotion desperately needs and should have been done like a couple of times already over the years.
Shima's knees are toast.
Oh God, yeah, no, he's so done.
And it's getting to, like, I think even a year or two ago he was perfectly still fine. I'm slowing down a bit, but now it's
Now it's kind of getting sad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that might be like I think we're going to get the Shima retirement next year, probably. Because that might be like the one time where they like try to get a big building for that again.
We might have Hiroshi Tanahashi retiring before Hiroshi Tenzan.
Yes, which is absurd.
Although they probably would not do as long as Tenzan very well could retire next year.
Tenzan could just, yeah, Tenzan's retirement could be like...
They won't have him a big countdown.
Yeah. No. Like that one you can do, like, I don't know, he main events a Kurikan and then afterwards he's like, I'm retiring actually, by the way.
Okay. Paul, let me ask you this, because I've been thinking about this, and I will be doing some Hall of Fame audio, but it's a surprise. So watch for that. But I am split on whether or not I'm voting for Shima for the... Would you do it, Paul? If you had I'm on the fence.
I feel like he's actually damaged his case with GLEAT.
Well, see, I agree with Mike in case of Open the Voice Gate that you can't dock that many marks, or even OWE, because some of that was even out of his GLEAT. I feel 44.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I can't. I don't even think it's that. It's just I don't know if everything else adds up.
To me, I think his drawing record is pretty good in Dragon Gate.
Yep.
I think the work is there. I think you can actually also make the influence case.
Yeah.
Because,
for sure.
How much of modern wrestling is down to a bunch of indie guys watching Shima and then those indie guys
absolutely
rising through the ranks and everything. So I think, to me, I don't think he's a slam dunk case, but I think if I had a ballot, I think I would vote for him still. I also agree that like I said, I think the GLEAT has hurt him. I don't think it has hurt him enough yet for me to not vote for him. I feel like if let's say they do a big show for his retirement and it also bombs at the box office, then I think that might be a thing that would kick him off my ballot. Because then his drawing record is just very, then it just becomes very mixed at that point, right? And then it becomes the question, if you can only draw in one promotion, I don't know, how much were you responsible for the drawing record and how much was the promotion responsible for the drawing record?
Sure.
The argument that we're making for WWE, right?
Well, Strong Hearts did draw a little bit when they left, although I couldn't call that a Hall of Fame case drawing, but then but that's also the pandemic.
Yeah.
But
and that just completely derailed things.
What are Shima's best singles matches that don't involve Misaki?
Yeah, it gets pretty thin without those guys. I will agree with that. But I mean, with Dragon Gate, you also always have to factor in tag work and things like that, And I think if you add those, and I think especially in a promotion like Dragon Gate, you need to add in tag work. You need to add in 6-man tags and tag teams and all of that, because that's just so essential to the DNA of the promotion. And I will actually say that with Dragon Gate, more often than not, the tag work way exceeds the quality of the actual singles matches. I think more often than not, really big Dragon Gate singles matches at the top of the card are actually slightly disappointing. If it hits, really, really well. But more often than not, it's also you walk out of it and you're yeah, that was good, but not great. Whereas tag work, though, I think that's really more where I think that's really the thing that pushes him over the edge for me for a work case as well.
So how long do you think this company has to live? Because I can't remember his name, but he doesn't seem like he's going anywhere.
No, here's my thing for GLEAT. I don't think it will fully die. I don't think that it basically the only way it will die is if GLEAT doesn't or can't doesn't want to or can't support it anymore. But I do think we are going to see them scale back significantly going forward.
You think they're going to have to release or not some contracts?
Yeah, I do think there's
a decent amount under contract.
Exactly, yeah. Because I actually looked it up because I kind of listed, because I'm pretty sure the ones I found on the website, those were all the people that were under contract, which that is a total of 18 people under contract. That's a lot. So I don't think they're going to have that many people under contract in 2 years. So I do think eventually they'll probably go down to the status of a promotion that I don't know, has 4 Korakuen shows a year, and like mainly runs like Shin Kiba and Shinjuku Face. Like, I don't think we're gonna see these adventures of them trying to like run Sumo Hall or like the big arena at Ideon and things like that, because like, I mean, look at these numbers.
Yep.
Like, okay, it's one thing to be like a money mark and like finance these shows, but like you also like, you don't want to do that if they draw numbers this embarrassing, because that's also egg on your face as the money mark as well. Whereas
Yeah,
if you
for
just
sure.
want to like keep your funny, like you want to like live out your dreams as a wrestling promoter, you can do that for significantly cheaper than what GLEAT is doing right now.
So, Paul, what do you think is going to happen to some of these wrestlers?
Well, we just talked about, right? Like the Noah Junior division needs some fresh blood. Like the All Japan roster is just paper thin as it is right now. So I have a feeling that once some, like, I don't think these people, like when these people will get released, I don't think they'll just kind of like disappear. I do think they're actually going to get like picked up by other promotions as well. And like, we're going to see these guys pop up in All Japan. We're going to see these guys pop up in Noah. Maybe 1 or 2 will even see them pop up in Dragon Gate. We'll see. Maybe somebody in New Japan as well. But yeah, I do think most of these will actually be fine when GLEAT has to like scale back. And I do think basically it will happen once like Shima retires.
Well, Paul, let's imagine where those wrestlers are going, because we're going to do a great draft.
Yay! Surprise! Also, I misspelled Yuzuka.
I'm going to be All Japan, and you're going to be Noah. And we are only putting the contracted, so no Demonji So. Or
Nope.
Who else is no Parker Boudreaux?
Yeah, no Kawakami either. That was, I think, kind of the borderline case, because but I was like, okay, no, we need to be. Basically, I wanted to put Kawakami on, but then I realized that we got to the nice round number of 18 total.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, we're gonna leave Kawakami off, because that way we have an even number.
Okay, so I've got the Google coin flip chair. So Paul, call heads or tails?
Heads.
It is heads. So
Nice. So I start.
You pick. Yep.
Okay. So for Noah, right? So it is really between like, I think there's like 4 or 5 people here that I would want to take, but in terms of kind of like, you know what? I do think Noah though, they need someone young. They need someone that they can push to the main event as well. They need someone that I think would work really well with Kaito Kiyomiya. They need someone that has experience as a champion as well. So I'm going to go for Hayato Tamura as the first guy, because Kaito desperately needs someone that is like a generational rival for him that is of a similar age. And I think Hayato Tamura fulfills that.
Okay. You know, I had flirted with him also being my first pick, but I'm not sweating it too much, because I'm going to take Soma Watanabe.
Nice.
Okay, Paul, pick again.
Okay. That actually opens up then like one of the other people that I was considering for my first pick as well. So you know what? I'm just going to take him as well then. I was actually low-key hoping you were taking him first, but I can't let him fall further than this, because I think he's been doing really great work in All Japan specifically. But I'm taking T-Hawk, because again, that's a guy that is kind of at the peak of his career. Like he's doing really good work right now, like in general. And I think he needs a different environment though, because I think he's always better when he's outside of GLEAT. So I think him and Noah actually would be exactly what he needs to like freshen up the act.
To be completely honest with you, I might have taken T-Hawk if he had like survived the first couple of rounds, but I think in a lot of ways he would actually be in full time.
Okay, fair enough.
But does that not make sense?
Yeah, I mean, also height-wise, he does fit in better, like.
Yeah.
Because it is a smaller promotion, whereas he is obviously a believable heavyweight in All Japan. I mean, they literally gave him a Triple Crown match, and he was in the finals of the Carnival this year. So
yeah, for sure. So for my next pick, I'm going to go with
nice
Takanori Ito.
No, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a guy that fits in like a glove in All Japan too.
For sure.
Okay, so now I need to decide. There's like 3 people that I'm thinking about here right now. And but then again, I'm going to get at least one of these other 2. And I feel like I could wait on him a little bit longer, but I think I'm going to keep the tag team together, and I'm picking a Lindemann.
I'm mildly surprised he went in the 4th round or third round actually.
Yeah.
But I mean the thing is he sort of unimpressed me last.
Yeah, no, definitely. And that's why I was like, maybe I should wait on him a little bit longer. But then I'm like, I do want to keep that team together because I do think that tag team is really good. So I might as well just lock him in now.
So my next pick, Yuazuka. I don't
Ooh,
know if
nice.
he truly fits in to All Japan, but like you could do stuff
Mhm.
with him in Hikaru Sato.
Yeah.
I really love him so much.
Nice. No, that's a very good pick. Okay, then I'm going to basically it's between two people that I'm picking right now. And you know what? As much as I would hate to lose out on him, Noah does need young people. Noah does need
They
young
do.
people. So I'm picking Tetsuya Izuchi. So Noah needs young blood. So I think he's the guy to go for here.
Yep. That's a good pick for Noah, I think. Oh crap.
Oh,
Okay.
whoops.
So I am going with Issei Onitsuka.
Oh,
who I think would be
interesting.
a great fit for the All Japan Junior.
Okay, interesting. Well,
And you
then
might even be able to keep his tag team Kodama.
yeah, actually. Okay, well then I'm picking up Kaito Ishida, so I'm keeping that tag team together as well. Where I think Kaito Ishida is fits like a glove in Noah, like in their junior division
he
as well.
definitely does.
Like that style wise and just everything. Like I think he would be perfect there, and I'm surprised he jumped to great when if he wanted to leave Dragon Gate, he could have just taken the Eita road and basically just slowly but surely move over to Noah instead, which I think that would have been better for his career than whatever he's doing and great right now.
So look, I said this guy should have gone to All Japan free agent, but I'll take him now. Brass knuckles.
But I assume you're going to make him Jun Tonsho and drop the brass knuckles gimmick. Yeah. Like I almost feel like you need to re-young boy him and to have him recover. But yeah, okay. So that actually opens up that makes my next pick very easy, which is Jack Shimatani, currently somewhere on excursion in the world, and I mean literally anywhere in the world because he's already been to Uganda, and I think he's I don't even know where he is right now. I think he's in Canada, maybe. I'm not sure, but he's really underrated. It's actually almost I would say he might be a guy that fits in best in neither of these of the two promotions. I think actually the place for him to go to would be Dragon Gate. I think out of all of the great guys, he's the one that would fit in the best in Dragon Gate. But I do think he would fit in again. The Noah Junior division needs some fresh blood, and I think that's a guy to go to there.
So he's in Mexico because he had a match on October 6th.
Mexico. Okay.
But here's the thing. His match before that, so he had a match in AAA on October 6th, and then before that, cage match list September 6th at AAA. So he's had 4 matches in AAA since August 25th. That's not a full time.
No, it's not.
Mexico stuff that doesn't get on.
Probably. That's always the problem with Mexico. Yeah, there's so much stuff that doesn't make it on there because there's so many tiny promotions.
Okay, so my pick here.
Because now it's getting a bit thinner with what is left now.
Fuck it, I'll do it. I'll pick an old guy. I'm going with Minoru Tanaka.
Nice. Okay, because I was really afraid you were going to pick the other old guy that is still really attractive here. Because you know who's going to lead the invasion of Black Generation and International into Noah? Well, it's obviously it's Kotaro Suzuki getting revenge for getting kicked out of Stinger. And he's leading them into Noah to take revenge on... Stinger doesn't exist anymore. But you can probably have them feud with Fatels, which, again, that actually would be kind of fun.
I'm going to take Takahiro Yamamura.
Fair, yeah.
I'll take the risk.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's a high risk, high reward kind of situation. Okay. No. Yeah, not exactly the most exciting choices left here. You know what? Let's just go with the guy. I've gotten a bunch of juniors. Really only have 2 real heavyweights so far in Tamura and T-Hawk. I'm picking Kazuma Sakamoto. I think he's still pretty good. And I think he can fill out some undercards in Noah as well.
You'll never... take a guess at who I'm going
to... is it Junjie?
Nope.
Is it Michiko?
I'm just going to do it.
Fair enough.
And she's going to Evolution.
Oh, yeah, actually, because I was like, I have nothing to do with her for
She
Noah,
would
but yeah.
actually fit in Evolution.
Yeah, no, that actually works really well. Okay, that actually leaves me with a kind of a, okay, just for spoiler for people. The last two people left are Shima and Junji. And I'm like, I should get him into Noah just for the memes of the old promotion, but I really want Noah to move away from that kind of stuff. And you know what? And Shima's a junior as well, so it's not like I would add like a heavyweight. So I'm just gonna pick Junji and just again, I think he's solid. I don't think he has like great potential. Haha. But you know what? He can like fill up like an undercard tag with like Hajime Ohara and them refusing to push Kotoga and stuff like that. So I think he can still fulfill a role there.
So I'll take Shima. Hopefully, under the circumstances of Great going under, he will actually listen to what he's told to do and not
Yeah.
politics. But you never know.
Puts over all of the young juniors, as opposed to him refusing to put over Akira Francesco, which was still incredibly egregious, but whatever.
Yeah. I mean, you could find something to do with Shima. I just don't know how long like. There are old guys that you can stick out there that are clearly like can barely walk, but fine. Like I don't know, Akitoshi Saito. I don't mind watching Akitoshi Saito, but
Yeah.
when it's a lot harder to watch a Tetsuya Naito or a Shima when they are
In main events.
when they're having those kind of physical,
Yeah.
right? It's a different case than watching an old guy that just hits people hard.
Yeah. Because it's very different when it's like Shima trying to do a Schwein and it's like quarter speed from what it used to be. Or Naito barely managing to hit a like rope assisted Destino. That's just so much worse than just.
Okay,
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Even with Tanahashi, I can buy him as like a guy doing bad stuff in a way that I can't buy that with Naito.
Yeah. No.
You know.
But which, by the way, I was already planning to go back to Japan for like the Dome in 2026. But now I am 110% going there since it has the Tanahashi retirement.
It's not a bad idea. All right. So before we go, do you have any final thoughts on our greatest episode ever?
Is that going to be the name?
It is definitely going to be the name.
I was thinking of Darkside Yoshitatsu, manager of Team 2000X, but I think your idea is better. I actually like the people that I got here from GLEAT.
Mm-hmm.
I do think a lot of them, I think, fit in really well. I actually really, like, as I was drafting, I really got into this idea of doing the, like, Black Generation invasion. I actually kept, like, bulk orchestra kind of together as well out of the ones that I signed.
You did.
So
the only person I really don't care for on my list is Shima.
Yeah, basically forced you to take. It's really funny, like the Shima got picked last.
All of these people except for Shima.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it's so weird where it's like, I don't know. You ask people like even like 2 years ago, like I don't think Shima is like going last in this.
No.
Whereas now I'm like, I really don't want Noah to do any more of these like old guy like.
If I hadn't watched those shows and seen him running around with like some of the best high flyers in the world, I would have a very different opinion maybe of that. But it really was like this guy's toast.
Yeah. No, it's bad. So no. Yeah, no, I do think like I think especially you getting Ito is really good because like we've been ranting about that for a while now where it's like it's criminal that All Japan didn't book him when Wrestle 1 fell apart. Because he's just such an amazing fit for the promotion.
Yeah.
But then again, they got Honda out of the whole downfall. So
I mean,
you know,
in terms of Wrestle 1 alumni,
he's the one doing the best by far. It's not close.
Yeah, that's kind of wild to think.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll be back in the next couple of weeks because we got some upcoming Noah shows with the tournament, the NN Vision tournament. I can't wait for that. Actually, I'm looking forward to that. Go 0-1 world title match as well. That'll be a lot of fun. And then, of course, we've got the big All Japan Korakuen show coming up as well. And we'll see what's going on because I figure there's going to be some surprises on that show, including who X's in the X and X2X are. Paul, do you have any final guesses on the identity of them before we go?
I do think it's going to be Shuji Ishikawa and Black Mansoray.
Okay, well, we'll see if it's those. So we will talk to you in about a couple of weeks. Take care.
Do you like wrestling trivia? Then check out the 5-Star Match Game, the Pro Wrestling Quiz Show. I'm Joe Gagney, and every episode, I grill 3 contestants with 5 rounds of power-packed wrestling trivia. We have over 30 evergreen episodes in the archives covering WWE, AEW, Japan, Mexico, and much, 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 much more. Play along at home and check it out today.